everything's alive, and threadlights, a blazing cat's cradle inside me, inside him.
Can't you feel it? Everything is so beautiful and lovely and alive.
Maybe you've heard of serotonin in relation to happiness, and that's kind of accurate. Here's how happiness normally works when your brain is not on drugs. Here's a cookie. I see it, I smell it, I taste it. And as I'm doing this, serotonin is the messenger between my senses. So maybe the sugar in here would trigger a little squirt of dopamine, the pleasure neurotransmitter. And maybe the fact that my Grammy makes cookies like this would trigger some oxytocin, because oxytocin is the love hormone. By mimicking serotonin, psychedelics level up these emotions. They amplify everything. So colors seem more vibrant, memories feel more poignant. Contrast is feeling with depression, which is not the same thing as feeling merely sad. Depression is feeling like nothing really means anything, like emotions just don't connect. And when people are in this mental state, psychiatrists prescribe SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And it doesn't give you more serotonin, it just gives you more utility out of the serotonin that you have. So if neurotransmitters are like keys, it makes the lock a little less sticky, so those keys can jingle around and make more connections. I'm oversimplifying depression just to point out how a psychedelic trip can feel like the opposite of that. Everything seems connected and full of meaning. In fact, there was a study that showed that one psychedelic trip could alleviate symptoms of severe depression for up to a year. Maybe the brain is like a forest, and we trample these paths day after day after day, and psychedelics can cause an explosion of growth, all of these new connections, and overgrow those old trails. For some people. For other people, a bad trip can be a nightmare that feels like it's never ending. In issue 43, this guy steals one of Swamp Thing's tubers and hallucinates that he's in hell. So I talked about how your perceptual systems rely on this balance of guesses on the inside and then stuff coming in from the outside. Your emotions work like that too. Your brain is always kind of guessing how it should feel moment to moment. So if you're on a psychedelic drug and your mindset or the setting that you're in are like not that great and you're having these negative thoughts, the drugs can amplify all of that. Or even worse, make it feel like it's on a loop, because they also mess with your sense of time passing. So a moment can feel like an eternity. You know how you can force yourself to smile and it actually like jumpstarts something in your brain where you feel a little happier? I think it kind of works with anxiety too, because psychedelics can cause these like cardiovascular constriction feelings, and that clenching feels sort of similar to a panic attack. So that physical feeling can jumpstart a mental feeling of anxiety. Also, it's likely that plants and fungi evolved these compounds as some sort of defense mechanism. Like, don't eat me, I will make you feel like you're insane. There are hundreds of species of fungi that have psilocybin, and there are lots of species of fungi that could straight up kill you, and a lot of them look the same. LSD is derived from ergot, which is a fungus that grows on wheat and rye and can cause gangrene, convulsions, and psychosis. So there's actually a theory that eating contaminated rye was the impetus for the panic of the Salem witch trials. Peyote is a psychedelic. It comes from a cactus, and the active ingredient is mescaline. And it seems like mescaline is some sort of metabolic stress byproduct in the cactus. So the equivalent in a human would be when you are crying, your tears contain cortisol. That's what mescaline is in a cactus. A warning. If you or your family have a history of mental health issues, especially anxiety, psychosis, or schizophrenia, don't try psychedelics. It's not really clear whether these drugs can cause those things, but they can certainly exacerbate them. If you're in distress, don't expect psychedelics to fix it. However, if you're otherwise mentally healthy and you are somebody who enjoys introspection, like journaling and meditating and stuff, and you're in a peaceful setting with people that you enjoy, you could have a good experience. So I've covered how psychedelics can affect perception and emotions, but so many people seem to say that psychedelics affect them spiritually. That's the topic of the next video, so I hope you tune in. Thanks so much for watching. If you want more comics in context, subscribe to me!